Hey guys, it's Nerdgasm. Black Panther Wakanda Forever is just around the corner, so I thought I'd take the time to rank my favorite villains of the hero. Outside of a few major story arcs, I haven't read a whole lot of Black Panther comics, so keep that in mind while watching this video. Like always, these are my own personal choices, so if I miss any of your favorites, just leave them down in the comment section below. Politely, please. We're all fans here. To kick off my list at number 10, we have the American Panther, a villain of Black Panther not many people seem to know about. I did a thorough breakdown of him in his own separate video years ago, but basically, picture everything the symbol of Black Panther stands for, and then throw all of it out the window. This guy was a former police officer in New York who has a burning hatred for immigrants and minorities of all kinds. He believes he must protect his country and Americans in general from their corruption. He teams up with an incarnation of the hate monger to spew their racist and bigoted ideologies, but thankfully, Black Panther puts him and his hypocrisy in their place. Next up at number 9 is the always awesome Sergei Kravenov, Kraven the Hunter. He's a big game hunter who believes himself to be the greatest in the world. Though he is most notably an adversary of Spider-Man, his most memorable appearances have involved the Wallcrawler. He has fought Black Panther before as well, having been hired to capture him a couple times and failed. But the battles he has had with Black Panther have been memorable and hard-hitting. Two men, two giants, two jungle cats at each other's throats. At number 8, we have Malice, formerly Nakia of the Dora Milaje, the all-female warriors who act as the personal bodyguards of the King of Wakanda. Nakia would end up falling in love with King T'Challa, becoming obsessed with him, and fantasize about marrying him. She would grow jealous of his then-girlfriend Monica Lynn, and pretend to fall and drown in a shallow pool the two lovers were bathing in, getting T'Challa to perform mouth-to-mouth resuscitation on her. At one point, Nakia and the Dora Milaje would be ordered to protect Monica, and during a battle, after being mocked by her for her feelings towards T'Challa, Nakia would eject her out of the side of a plane, killing her. When T'Challa confronted her over the circumstances surrounding Monica's death, Nakia lied to his face, and he picked up on it too. Nakia would be kicked out of the Dora Milaje and banished out of Wakanda after being brutally tortured by an insane man named Achebe. More on him later. She would be found and healed by Eric Killmonger using the Altar of Resurrection. It also increased her strength and accuracy, and she would seek revenge against T'Challa and all those he loves. If she can't have him, no one can. I like that Malice uses a toxic herb called Jafaro, which is a potent aphrodisiac that makes men fall in love with her and submit to her will. Like poison ivy from Batman, it can be administered with a kiss, but also be on some of her blades and enter your system through wounds. The symbol for Jafaro is a heart that also looks like a devil's tail. At number 7, I have chosen Namor the Submariner, the mutant king of the underwater city of Atlantis. He has had a long-running rivalry with Black Panther in the comics, with the two kings and their respective nations viewing each other as enemies and allies at various points throughout the years. During the Avengers vs. X-Men storyline, Namor had been a member of the Phoenix Five, when the Phoenix Force had fractured itself into 5 pieces, possessing 5 mutants. Namor would strike parts of Wakanda with a massive tsunami and declare war, which obviously didn't sit well with T'Challa. It seems that the upcoming Wakanda Forever will draw elements from that story. Moving on to number 6 with White Wolf, the adopted brother of Black Panther, King T'Challa. His parents had been killed in a plane crash on the border of Wakanda before T'Challa was born, and he was adopted by their father, T'Chaka, out of the kindness of his heart. The boy, named Hunter, grew to love Wakanda and its people, but its citizens were not very fond of him, due to him being white and him being a foreigner. Racism works both ways, of course. When T'Challa was born, Hunter became jealous of him because he realized he would never be king. Putting the work in, Hunter would grow to become one of Wakanda's fiercest warriors and would be appointed head of Wakanda's secret police force by T'Chaka, though this police force was eventually disbanded by his son T'Challa following his father's assassination due to their excessive use of brutality. Though White Wolf has a deep-rooted love and respect for his country and has fought alongside his brother T'Challa numerous times, he has also attempted to kill him, as well as steal his throne. Their relationship is complicated. At number 5, we have Achebe, believed to be a peasant farmer who lived in the African country of Goudaza. His wife was stolen from him, and his farm burned to the ground by a group of rebel soldiers. They also stabbed Achebe 32 times. Jesus! The only way he was able to survive was by selling his soul to the demon Mephisto. He would then go after the rebels and everyone who had interacted with his wife by stabbing them 32 times. Achebe would infiltrate a refugee camp set up on the outskirts of Wakanda by King T'Challa. He would lead an uprising within the camp, and the army of refugees would attack and temporarily overthrow Wakanda. Achebe would be seen talking to a hand puppet named Daki, and even created a death trap for T'Challa and Everett Ross that functioned like a claw machine, filled with glass balls armed with explosives. This guy has some serious mental issues. I can see why Black Panther fans make comparisons between Achebe and the Joker from Batman. I mean, he has a very similar fixed grin, but also because unlike many other villains in Black Panther's Rogues Gallery, he attacks the hero psychologically more so than physically. He isn't really a physical threat to the hero, but a cunning mental one. There was even a story where Black Panther was fighting the villain Nightmare, and in one of the dream sequences, Black Panther and Everett Ross were visualized similarly to Batman and Robin. Achebe was wearing a purple suit. There was a Black Panther mobile. In case the comparisons weren't strong enough, there you go. Next up at number 4 is Doctor Doom. Much like Namor and Atlantis, Doom and Latveria have found themselves at odds with Wakanda multiple times over the years. The biggest example is in the 6-part miniseries Doom War, when he implants nanites on Wakandans that allow the highly conservative isolationist group within Wakanda, known as the Desturi, to overthrow the country. Doom would attack Wakanda with the sole purpose of stealing the country's vibranium that he would mystically enhance and infuse with his armor to become seemingly unstoppable. He would be defeated, though, when T'Challa triggered a special explosive linked to the entire vibranium stockpile Doom was drawing energy from, converting it into a useless, inert form. Though Wakanda's precious vibranium was gone, T'Challa and his sister Shuri believed their people could survive without it, without relying on it. Moving on to number 3 with M'Baku, who goes by the name of Manape. He was born and raised within the Jabari village, a micronation of Wakanda. He's considered the second greatest warrior in Wakanda, under the Black Panther himself. M'Baku is a member of the outlawed White Gorilla cult, who worship the gorilla or ape god Gekri, the god of judgment. M'Baku would stalk and kill one of the rare white gorillas living in the jungles of Wakanda and would be granted its strength after bathing in its blood and eating some of its flesh. He would also incorporate much of its skin into the armor he wears, which is pretty badass, though I don't condone the killing of any animal, let alone a rare albino gorilla. That's just cruel. Next up at number 2 is the physicist Ulysses Klaue, highly knowledgeable in sound waves and known criminally as just Klaue. He would go after the rare metal vibranium that is only found in Wakanda to power a giant sonic converter device of his own design. He would battle T'Challa's father, T'Chaka, and was the one responsible for his death. T'Challa would get revenge against Ulysses, though, destroying his right hand with the villain's own sonic blaster. Klaue would return years later with a special sonic weapon attached to his arm and would become a being made of pure sound energy after jumping into his sonic converter machine. In this form, he can essentially possess other forms of technology and create various sound constructs to attack his foes. And at number 1, we have Eric Killmonger, a hunter and mercenary born in Wakanda who would be raised outside of it, believing he had been robbed of paradise. He would return to the country numerous times, leading revolts against those in power, and would try to claim the royal throne for himself. At one point, he would succeed, among the pages of Black Panther Volume 3, defeating King T'Challa in ritual combat, and obtaining the title of Black Panther, becoming Wakanda's greatest warrior and protector. Killmonger would make adjustments to his costume, and would even consume the mystical heart-shaped herb to gain superhuman abilities. However, he fell into a coma shortly afterwards, because the herb is poisonous to anyone outside of the royal bloodline. Killmonger is one of Black Panther's most heated rivals. Their fights over the years have been brutal. He's also one of the longest-running enemies of T'Challa, debuting all the way back in Jungle Action number 6 from 1973, and at this point, especially due to the MCU, he is without a doubt the most widely known villain in Black Panther's Rogues Gallery, so he had to be my number 1. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it insightful. Let me know your favorite Black Panther villains down in the comment section below. And are you excited for Wakanda Forever? If you'd like to support the channel and ensure the future of its content, you can do so by subscribing, hitting that bell icon for notifications, sharing the video to anyone you feel might get something out of it, and by becoming a producer over on patreon.com if you can. I will see you all in the next one. Take care, stay safe, and always stay nerdy.